alongside some of the great moments in NBA playoff history as we welcome you to the world of the Magic Kingdom on a 68-degree rainy day in Central Florida. It's been a day of thunderstorms. The scene has shifted to Amway Arena in Orlando. The usual sellout crowd, better than 17,000, still making their way in as we get ready for Game 3 of the Eastern Conference Final. Cleveland Cavaliers and the Orlando Magic coming off that improbable conclusion to Game 2 at the Q in Cleveland. Hi, everybody. I'm Marv Albert along with Doug Collins. We'll be joined in a moment by Craig Sager working the sidelines. Let's get right to it. A check of the McDonald's starting lineups for the Cavs. It's the MVP LeBron James, who said after Game 2 that was the biggest shot of his life. He's up front with Anderson Varejao and Zydrunas Ilgauskas at the guards. Delonte West and Mo Williams. The Magic with Hedo Turkoglu, who was 1 second away from putting Orlando up 2-0. Rashard Lewis, who had another strong finish Friday night, at Dwight Howard. The Magic needing more from Howard down the stretch. The guards Courtney Lee and Rafer Alston. All right, Doug, what are the keys going into tonight's Game 3?
Well, Marv, you know how I always talk about the first quarter. How about the Cavs in this series have jumped all over the Orlando Magic, have been up 14 points in both those first quarters. A big part of that is Rashard Lewis and Hedo Turkoglu 0 for 10, combined only 1 point, so they need better starts from those guys. The battle of the paint in Game 1, it went to the Orlando Magic. Dwight Howard, 26 of his 30 in the paint. He had 6 dunks in Game 2. They did some adjusting. They double-teamed him. Only 6 points, 1 dunk. So he has to go to work in the paint. The Cavs supporting cast, Zydrunas Ilgauskas, Delonte West, Mo Williams, a combined 31 for 84 in this series, 7 of 29 from 3. Somebody else other than LeBron is going to have to start making some shots here, especially on the road. And then about the photo finish, each game decided by 1 point. LeBron combined in the 2 fourth quarters at home, 17 points. And how about Lewis and Turkoglu? They have combined for 32. So if it gets down to close games, it's been LeBron James for Cleveland, and it's been Turkoglu and Lewis for the Orlando Magic.
And here's LeBron getting ready to go through his traditional pregame routine. And Doug, incredibly, over the first 2 games, the Magic have had the lead for only 8 minutes, 16 seconds. Still, they were 1 second away from taking that 2-0 lead on the Cavaliers' home court.
Well, you know, when you talked to Stan Van Gundy before the game, you and I were in there visiting with him, and his concerns are the Magic have not shot the ball well at home. And he said, you know what, the first 2 series, I thought we might be able to win the series by winning on the defensive end. He said, for us to win this series, I'm not going to tell my team this, but we need to start making some shots. And especially Hedo Turkoglu, who has really struggled at home over the last 2 games, a combined 18 points in Games 4 and Game 6. So they need a good game out of here. But this crowd is revved up and ready to go, Mark. The Magic need to give them something to cheer about here early.
And you saw the officiating crew headed by Joe Crawford. Orlando controlling the opening tip as Rafer Alston looks to set things up. And LeBron James opens up against Alston. Turkoglu being played here by West. Turkoglu, who has not been able to get off to good starts, missing on his first attempt.
Well, you see what they did. They ran him right down to the post against the smaller Delonte West to try to get him an easy basket.
A crossover by LeBron and then flips it back out. Here's James wide open for 3. Kept alive by Williams. Williams making the turn. Finds West for 3. Kept alive by Varejao. Williams using the pick from Ilgauskas. Makes the turn. Sets it up for Varejao. He cannot score. Well, several opportunities for the Cavs at the start.
A great energy by the Cavs, just couldn't finish.
Dwight Howard getting down deep. And a foul. That'll put Howard at the line.
See, when the Magic get defensive stops, Dwight Howard is so fast, and what he does, Marv, you call it a post lane sprint or a rim run. He runs right underneath the basket. Look how deep he catches that ball. They want to double team him. One of the things he's got to start doing, he's got to start keeping that ball up. When he drops it below his waist, that's where guys start stripping. You see Varejao there. Now the important thing is to make his free throws. In Game 1, they only fouled him and put him to the line twice. The other night, they used their fouls a little more wisely, and he shot 8 free throws and found all the rim on that play.
He will take it. Just 4 of 8 in Game 2 at the line. Just 10 points the other night. Game 1, he went 14 of 20. Sensational game, 30 points, 13 rebounds, although he did foul out. Howard hits 1 of 2. We're talking with Stan Van Gundy earlier. He said, you know, you're only going to climb out of holes every so often. You're not going to come back from 16 down to 23 down on a regular basis. And that's what we saw the first 2 games. Here's LeBron, cannot put it home, and a late whistle. Mark Wunderlich, the baseline official, with the call. It's on Howard.
Well, Howard is going to come over and try to defend this shot. He did get a piece of LeBron. The call was a little bit late, and you know, Marv, this is one of those, and I know that the refs say that they don't do this, but it's almost you wait to see if that ball is going to go in or not, and when it doesn't, then you blow the whistle, and it makes it look like it's a late call. So there was a foul there, but the whistle was late.
LeBron James has had a spectacular series. Look at the first 2 games. He scored 84 points. The rest of the team 118. He's shooting 60% from the field, and the rest of the club at 41.
Well, the problem has been in the second half, especially, Marv, because in game 1 it was 23-20. He outscored his team. In game 2 it was 18-22. So, I mean, he's been carrying the brunt of the load at 42% the entire game.
Again, Howard getting position. This time against Ilgauskas.
When you get it that deep, you can't double team, and so you can see they're making a conscious effort for Howard to get the ball deep in the post, so he doesn't have to dribble, where they can come down and get that big, strong double team like they did in game 2.
West on the hop to Varejao, try to find Ilgauskas, but they turn it over, the ball back to the Magic. Orlando has won 5 of the last 6 games against Cleveland here in Orlando. In fact, the last meeting during the regular season back in early April was that 29-point blowout by Orlando over Cleveland. At one point, they led by as many as 41.
That's the second worst loss in LeBron's career. He lost by 35 at another time, but I'm sure the taste is in their mouth of what happened the last time they were in here.
Alston for 3. Rafer Alston from downtown. A 6-2 lead for the Magic.
Now, good start here by the Magic. Just what they worked on today. Stan Van Gundy said, playing out of those double teams. He felt like players were not in the right spots the other night to give Howard an outlet that time. An easy pass to Alston to knock down the shot.
One of the previous 2 games, bad starts for Orlando. Not the case here in the early moments. Another Cleveland turnover. Here's the double on Howard. Gets the call, and he'll head back to the line.
Well, his activity level is so much better. He's making more decisive moves. I thought the other night he was very hesitant. Started out the first play of the game. They penetrated, dropped him the ball. He had a dunk. He brought it down to his waist. He got stripped. The ball got knocked loose, and it really was sort of an omen for what was going to be his night. Here tonight, he's going strong to the basket, and this is where he could really help his team. If he could step up and make free throws.
Second foul on Varejao. Ben Wallace will come on. Hey, you can vote which player you want to watch. Get enhanced coverage of the Eastern Conference Finals right here on TNT. Overtime Extra, presented by Axe, only on NBA.com. Now, Ben Wallace was not a factor at all in game 1. Played just 10 minutes. However, in game 2, and you're not going to see it in the stat sheet, but did a nice job in pushing Dwight Howard off the spots that he usually likes.
And what he did in Detroit, and then more importantly, Marv, he took fouls. In game 1, he did not take fouls, and they wrapped up Dwight Howard when he caught the ball and did not get to the free throw line or forced him to shoot some free throws, and that's what they want to be able to do, use their fouls wisely.
Good job by Rafer Alston, not allowing Mo Williams to penetrate. Shot clock to 7. James played by Turkoglu. James using the pick. Rebounded by Howard.
Interesting matchup now, Marv. Who's going to play Rashard Lewis? Now you got either Ben Wallace or Ilgauskas, and a nice little drive here. Boy, Howard's off to a great start.
6 points for Howard. 8 straight for the Magic. They lead it 9-2 here in the early moments. This is a series that is tied at 1. The Cavs 1 second away from trailing 2-0 with both losses at home, where they lost only twice during the regular season. Here's Williams, rebounded by Howard. Alston pushing. And that pass off the mark. Turkoglu not able to get to it.
Orlando wants to play fast, so anytime they get a defensive stop, they're going to push. It's a beautiful screen roll, and Zydrunas Ilgauskas really struggles in all those pick and rolls, just does not have the foot speed to play.
Doug, this is the way the Magic opened up in Game 7 against the Celtics, with Rafer Alston in particular setting the tone. A battle for that loose ball and last touch by Courtney Lee. So Cleveland maintains possession.
And again, it gets back to who's going to start making some shots for Cleveland. We know that LeBron has been carrying the load, but I mean, Delonte West, Zydrunas Ilgauskas, Mo Williams, these are guys that through the year have shot the ball very, very well. All of their numbers are down here in the playoffs. Zydrunas Ilgauskas, I expect him to shoot it better tonight. He's one of these guys, when he gets a lot of rest, takes him a couple games to get back into the swing of things. We saw that in the Atlanta series. Games 3 and 4, he shot the ball much better than he did in 1 and 2.
Here's James. He's missed his first 3 shots. Kept alive by Williams. Nice play, and Ben Wallace with the stuff.
I think the concern for Stan Van Gundy is you're getting some nice defensive stops. 1 of 7 for the Cleveland Cavaliers from the field, but they're not defensive rebounding. You got to take care of the boards.
Alston is left open and takes advantage. He had a foot on the line. That's a 2. Orlando with an 11-4 lead. They've hit 4 of their first 5 shots. Williams, yes. I mentioned Mo Williams struggling. Game 1 just 7 of 19, although he did hit that halftime buzzer beater from 67 feet away. And then the other night, only 7 of 21, although he did have some big buckets in the second half. Here's Rashard Lewis for 3.
So they switched that pick and roll, and when they did and went into the post, they had to double team, and that's what Stan Van Gundy talked about. Very good spacing. Beautiful spacing behind that three-point line. 3 passes out of the double team led to the open 3 for Lewis.
Williams with a catch and shoot. Deflected out. Last touch by Orlando. Rashard Lewis and Hedo Turkoglu getting off to slow starts in both games 1 and 2, and both players coming on in the 4th quarter. James tried to use the pick set by Wallace, and a foul. It's on Turkoglu.
See, Marv, to start this game, too, one of the things that's happened is with the Magic, with them scoring, they're able to get back and get to their defensive assignments, because LeBron James is playing Rafer Alston, but Alston does not play James. So when the Magic score, they can get back, and Turkoglu can get over and get on LeBron James. So Gortat coming into the ball game. So when they play good offense, they can get back and get to their defensive people.
Correction, that foul was Howard, not Turkoglu, so that's why Gortat has come on for Howard, who picked up a second with 6.5 remaining in this first quarter. Williams called for the traveling violation. He was about to uncork a 3 and then changed his mind.
Well, when you're not shooting it well, you want to get good ones. And I thought the other night in the game, he took some very difficult shots. Mark, we had talked about it. And when you're not shooting well, the one thing you want to do is you want to make sure you get good shots.
Courtney Lee played by Mo Williams. Lewis guarded by West, using his size, and score.
He's off to a good start. He already had 5 points.
There are many defensive mismatches that the Magic have against the Cavaliers, and we just saw one of them on a switch. Timeout is called with just under 6 left in this first quarter.
Well, when you go into the post and you get a double team, what you want to do is you want to move that ball. This time, Rashard Lewis recognizes he has a smaller man, backs him down, goes away from the double team. This was the 3rd pass out of the double team. Rashard Lewis, 5 quick points here tonight.
Orlando, time for Gatorade around the cooler. Let's go to Craig Sager. Craig.
Well, the Orlando Magic are bringing on all the stops tonight to make sure they take the fullest advantage of their home court advantage. Singing the national anthem tonight, 7-year-old Gina Maria Incandela. She's been battling autism, just 7 years old, but has been singing the national anthem in the playoffs. She is undefeated 3-0. In fact, before Game 7, which was on the road, at a viewing party, she sang it in her home. They won that as well. And then the original Magic, Nick Anderson, back to introduce the fans to this team in the Eastern Conference Finals to get them revved up. And then, of course, the president of basketball operations, Bob Vanderway, wearing his lucky Scorpion socks, undefeated so far in the playoffs. You may wonder if he's washed them. He said yes, to make sure you tell him that he washes them every game with his Amway SE8 soap, the best detergent on the market, and one of the original Amway products of Rich DeVos.
Mark, that never occurred to me whether he did wash the socks. I don't know about you, Doug. Mo Williams knocks down a three, but Gina Marie was just outstanding.
She was incredible.
So the Magic with a 16-9 lead. Orlando's biggest lead over the first two games was just 4 points. So they have certainly surpassed that here at the start. Lee is off the mark on a three. Sasha Pavlovich has checked in, did a good job appearing in game 2 after rarely seeing any playing time of the postseason. Pavlovich with the pass, handled well by James, and he scores. So for LeBron, his first bucket.
Oh, what great hands that time. As LeBron was going through the lane, look, that ball was deflected. He caught it, and then beautiful footwork to finish with that offhand. Loves to shoot with that left hand in the lane. Here's Alston, who's off to a great start. So we wonder where these points are going to be coming from. That's 7 now for Alston. He's got 3 of 3 from the field.
Beautiful move on a teardrop. Pavlovich did not react. Just under 5 left in the first quarter. LeBron James, so he's hit his last 2. Cleveland started out 0 for 6, and they've hit 5 of the last 6 shots.
Well, you'd like to make him a jump shooter. He's getting that ball to about 17 feet, but you don't want him getting in the lane. You don't want to foul him and give him 3-point plays and get to the line.
Alston much more aggressive here tonight. Gets it out to Turkoglu. Good job by Ilgauskas on the box out of Gortat. 5-point lead for the Magic. Here comes James. Pops it back out. Williams again unsure. Passed up on a 3. James played by Turkoglu. LeBron going left. Finds Williams for 3. Rebounded by Turkoglu.
They want to push this ball now. This is where they have the advantage. That's where they get their 3-point shooting. Anytime they can push, it really causes a lot of mismatches.
Try to trap Alston. Pass intended for Lewis. Knocked away by Williams. Batted it out of bounds, so the Magic maintain possession.
Well, LeBron recognizing he needs to get to work here. His team was down by 10. Look at that beautiful finish off the wrong foot. And then the jump shot, hand in the face. That's what you want to do if you're the Magic. Make him take some long jump shots, and more importantly, keep him off that free throw line.
11 on the shot clock. Orlando, a very good team at home, 32-9. At one point, they won 11 straight. In the playoffs, they have lost twice here. They're 4-2 at home. Turkoglu on a fade. Gortat try to tip it, and it's knocked out of bounds. Last touch by the Cavaliers.
That's a problem that with Ilgauskas in the game at Turkoglu, they're going to go to a lot of screen rolls to get him involved. So Turkoglu's going to be able to get any shot he wants, and if they have to really help when they move that ball, that's when you really get spread out and make those open jump shots.
Oh, beautiful pass by Turkoglu, but Lee was surrounded, so they reset. Magic going without Dwight Howard. He picked up the 2 early fouls. Here is Alston.
Pick and roll again. It's a little bit like Houston with Yao Ming. You know that you can get a shot most any time off of that.
Turkoglu stepping away as James sets things up. And LeBron took a hip check. Kind of a touch foul by Turkoglu. That's his first.
Well, LeBron there, both little contact, and they thought the Turkoglu maybe reached in with that left hand to get that foul.
James going behind the back to Ilgauskas, but Gortat is right there. Here's West, ball slapped away. Lee on the open floor, chased down by Williams. Lee rejected from behind. The Magic looking for a goaltend, but it will not be called. LeBron James with the chase down.
Well, this has become his trademark play. I mean, you think you've got a dunk. Now, remember, in the second game, Courtney Lee dunked this ball. He took off a little bit too far out. That looked very, very close to being in the cylinder. But LeBron James never gives up on the play. It'll be the magic ball, sideline out of bounds.
If you're a fan, if you're any kind of reporter watching our game, I mean, he does absolutely everything for us. And he does the plays that you see. And he also does the things that doesn't show up in the stat book, and that's, you know, hawk somebody down for a wide open layup that 99.9% of the time will be a layup on any other team, and he's all of a sudden down there and get a block.
Well, you just don't realize how fast this guy's in the open court. Can you see him here as he starts to go back, and he sort of chops his stride there to get his feet together on what he wants to do. He blocks it with the left hand. Look at this, saving 2 points. What a spectacular play by LeBron James. And he blocked 93 shots during the regular season. I mean, so you talk about a guy who is such a spectacular defensive player, Mark, from the standpoint, 137 steals, 93 blocks. He's second in the Defensive Player of the Year voting behind Dwight Howard, and Dwayne Wade was third, and all three of them are in the building here tonight. It's like the #1 draft picks the other night. Tonight it's the Players of the Year defensively. There's D. Wade. He was here doing his T-Mobile stuff with Kenny and Charles this afternoon.
And how about the term chase down, which has now been added to the vernacular because of LeBron James, that originating in Cleveland. Just under 3 left in this first quarter, 2013. The Magic on top, game 3 of this Eastern Conference Final. Beautiful play by Rafer Alston. 5 for 5, 11 points for Alston. Williams thought he was tripped up. Ilgauskas working on Gortat. Nice pass. Ilgauskas to James.
See, LeBron is one of these guys that he has the ball in his hands, everybody's looking. But when he's moving away from the ball, he actually frees himself up a little bit better, and that was a beautiful cut to the basket.
Here's Lee. Oh, that's a dangerous pass. Went behind the back, trying to get it over to Gortat. And the ball will be handled by the Cavs.
I remember my coach told me as a young player, the most dangerous man in the game is the guy away from the ball. You see Hedo Turkoglu turn his head. Rashard Lewis is supposed to get over there and take that cutter, but if you're at all late, LeBron James has that big, strong body. He's so quick, you're not going to be able to get in front of him. And so we've seen him 2 or 3 times off the ball, catch it, and be able to then finish at the basket. That makes that jump shot, Marv, so much easier when you get layups and free throws.
Joe Smith has come on from O. Williams, sits down 2 of 5, 5 points. West trying to find Pavlovich, pass off the mark, and the ball back to Orlando. Stan Van Gundy going with Courtney Lee and Rafer Alston at the guards. Rashard Lewis, Hedo Turkoglu, and Marcin Gortat, who is playing for Dwight Howard, sitting after picking up the 2 fouls.
Well, Mike Brown cannot be happy. That's 5 turnovers already. That's led to 8 Orlando Magic points.
Here's Lee. Well, he had the room. Pavlovich was holding back for the drive, and Courtney Lee is able to bury that jumper.
Well, you just got to appreciate this young guy's confidence.
Courtney Lee, a rookie out of Western Kentucky, worked his way to the starting lineup, playing with that protective mask. Here's James, too strong, rebounded by Alston. The lead pass overthrown. Alston trying to find Gortat, and Cleveland will take over. Courtney Lee was inadvertently hit by an elbow thrown by Dwight Howard. Here's Delonte West. And Lee suffered a sinus fracture, underwent surgery, sat out several games in the postseason, and has made his way back to the starting lineup. Pass intended for Lee.
Back-to-back turnovers there by Alston. He comes back with a steal of his own.
Throws up a teardrop. The tip by Lee. Who can leap? Half-minute left in the first. Here's James. Rejected by Gortat. And deflected out of bounds. Last touch by James.
This Gortat, I really like him. When he comes in the game, he gives him a physical presence. Beautiful block here that goes off LeBron James. when Dwight Howard goes off the floor with fouls or arrests, or Magic, they really believe in this young guy. When he's on the floor, they don't lose any confidence with him being out there.
He's out of Poland, spent the last 3 years playing in the German league. Final seconds of the first quarter, 1 second differential. Lewis had it knocked away. There's James going behind the back. Shoots from center court. It's being waved off. Would not have counted.
But you expected it to go in,
yes.
Didn't you?
1 quarter complete. Best start in 3 games for Orlando as they hit 10 of 17 from the field. Cleveland, on the other hand, misfiring on its first 6 shots. So the Magic by 7 when we come back. Craig with Cleveland head coach Mike Brown.
Welcome back to Orlando. The Magic at one point had a double-digit lead, now down to 7. With me, Mike Brown of the Cleveland Cavaliers. Do you think you've weathered the storm from their big run at the beginning?
Well, we'll see. You know, the crowd is energetic. They're feeding off the crowd, and one thing that we have to do a better job of is not turn the basketball over. When we turn it over, they have good things going the other way.
In the first 2 games, you really didn't have to worry about Rafer Alston from the offensive end. He's 5 for 6 with 11 points. Does that change your defense?
Yeah, we got to change a little bit to try to slow them down. But at the end of the day, too, we have to understand they have some great scorers out there. And, you know, if Rafer's rolling for a little bit, we got to see if he can beat us.
All right, thanks a lot. Back to Marvin Doug.
Mike Brown, the NBA Coach of the Year, only 39 years old, out of Columbus, Ohio. His team trailing here by 7. They've been down by as many as 10. West going behind the back. 3 on the shot clock. Pavlovich lost it. Petras, who just came on, knocked it away. Here's Petras all the way. Will not count. It's a traveling violation.
But that is 7 turnovers now for the Cleveland Cavaliers. 10 points off those turnovers. So that's what Mike Brown was talking about. You look up, you've given up 24 points in the first quarter, 10 of them off your own errors and mistakes. And that's when Magic really come back at you, and especially get those threes in the open court.
Mike Brown giving LeBron James a rest. Pass for Wallace has fumbled. He lost it. This is Petras. He has shot well during the course of the postseason, particularly in the series against the Celtics. For time. The tip was missed by Howard, who just checked back in. He's playing with the 2 personals. LeBron James has scored or assisted on Cleveland's last 5 field goals.
Yeah, with that said, Marv, with this group, they're being behind. Who's going to score? It's got to be either Delonte West or Mo Williams. And this is a problem now. The Cleveland bench is playing from behind, not with a big lead.
Smith with his first shot. Joe Smith, the veteran, able to knock it down from the angle. So it's a 5-point Orlando lead.
His only basket the other night was a 3 that gave Orlando the biggest lead they had in the game, 43-20.
And then things did turn as the Magic made that comeback, came within 12 at the half, kept coming on in the fourth quarter. West, yes.
So you make the simple play. Orlando gets a lead. Now all of a sudden they turn the ball. That's their 7th turnover. And Stan Van Gundy's going to talk to him. You had Hito Turkoglu who tried to throw a lob from almost half court. That's such a high-risk, low-reward play. Even though you think you're throwing it to Dwight Howard, it has to be perfect. LeBron James is resting, and Cleveland's getting back in the game.
Hey, let's get a good start. Let's go. We cannot get out hustled, and we cannot be leaking out thinking somebody else has got the rebound. We've got to stay in now.
Well, that was early in the game. Remember, Mark, we talked about that first couple possessions. Cleveland could not make a field goal, but they were getting 2-3 shots at the basket. And, you know, in a game like this, it's come down to 1 possession both games. You don't want to give teams multiple shots at the basket, especially when they're shooting poorly. You got to defensive rebound the ball. That's the end of your defensive sequence.
Stan does get your attention.
Oh, yes.
Yes. This is Anthony Johnson, who just checked in and fires one. And here is it from the crowd.
Well, this is what you see with Orlando, the peaks and valleys. That's why they have had tremendous comebacks in the playoffs. That's why they've lost big leads, is because they'll go through stretches where they won't make any shots.
West using the pick from Wallace. Rebounded by Wallace and a foul. It is on the Magic. John Gortat.
Well, Charles Barkley has to be very happy right now, because before the game I was sitting with him and he goes, I wish they would play Dwight Howard and Gortat together. Well, Charles, they're playing them together right now. The big thing is they got to get on the backboard. Gortat is playing against Joe Smith, and Dwight Howard matched up against Ben Wallace, who just got an offensive rebound.
They did do it on occasion against the Celtics for short periods of time. Mo Williams surveying. West. Smith with the shot. Yes. So Joe Smith off the bench to hit his first two.
That's 6 points now for the Cleveland bench, none for the Orlando Magic. So we have a little role reversal now with the bench production.
8-0 run for Cleveland going back to the late stages of the first quarter. Blocking foul on Wallace.
And again, LeBron James is resting. And remember the other night he rested, and the team was +9 when he was on the bench. Rested for just about 4 or 5 game minutes. And he rested actually 22 minutes. So got a nice rest and then came in. They had that strong finish.
Unaccustomed as the Magic are playing from ahead. It's a 24-23 lead, although Cleveland, the team that has rallied in this case, will Petras for three. Michael Petras continues to shoot so well. Game 1 against Cleveland, 5 of 10, 13 points, 2 threes. He had a superb Game 7 in Boston, 6 of 7, 3 of 3 from downtown. Bad pass, ends up in the backcourt. To the ball back to the Magic.
See, to me, that's an unforced error. You know, there was really not much pressure on Mo Williams. He got a little careless, threw the ball into the backcourt. LeBron James is going to be coming back into the ball game, but this is a nice play by Dwight Howard. Gortat trying to screen the man who was rotating, and Michael Petras, the one thing he's done also, too, he's given them another defender on LeBron James. Now, obviously, nobody is stopping LeBron James, but Stan Van Gundy told us before the game, Marv, at least it keeps Turkoglu fresh for the fourth quarter, where you've seen his best offense.
Delonte West sits down. LeBron James returns. Mo Williams and Delonte West have combined for 6 turnovers already. We're early second. Marv Albert, Doug Collins, Craig Sager from Orlando. Rashard Lewis, who just checked back in, is able to drill it.
When you play against Orlando, you better not make mistakes in the screen roll. That's what Mike Brown told us before the game. He said they will make you pay, and you saw at that time, once again, the little baseline jump shot by Rashard Lewis.
And the foul is on Anthony Johnson. Non-shooting foul.
They just space you out, and you see Rashard Lewis roll out. Watch his little pump fake. Joe Smith goes running by. Bare jump shot there from about 12 feet. He's going to shoot a very high percentage on that one.
James pops it back out to Pavlovich. They are respecting the outside touch of Pavlovich. Has to give it back. Smith. And a loose ball foul. As Ben Wallace went flying, it's on Lewis.
His first third team foul.
Interesting front line you have right now. You've got Ben Wallace and Joe Smith. Ben Wallace inside there. They ruled that Rashard Lewis a little push in the back, but Ben Wallace and Joe Smith on that front line. A very small front line for Cleveland.
13th foul on the Magic. Nice pass on a backdoor. Smith not able to put it down. Kept alive by the Cavs.
Courtney Lee lost his shoe. He's got it in his hands. He's playing with one shoe on and one shoe off.
And James is fouled. Went at the combination of Howard and Petras. And it's on Howard. That's number 3.
That's what LeBron wants to do. He wants to attack the rim and put the pressure on Dwight Howard. And those are 3 very touch fouls by Howard. Right there you see he sort of bumps him with his hip. And LeBron James is going to put the pressure on you defensively. Right there he catches him with the hip. The ball squirts out. And LeBron James will shoot 2 free throws. Howard now will sit for the last 7:27, so we'll keep our eye on that. So Gortat's going to get a lot of minutes here tonight in this first half.
Marcin Gortat is back. Dwight Howard not able to stay on the floor. Zydrunas Ilgauskas returns along with Anderson Varejao. And James will go to the line. A reminder, national coverage of the NBA playoffs continues tomorrow on ESPN. Game 4, the Lakers and the Nuggets. And they also having an excellent series. Lakers with the win last night. Kobe putting up 41, and exhausted Kobe Bryant. Coverage starts 8 o'clock Eastern time tomorrow. Then Tuesday right here on TNT. We'll be back with Game 4 of the Cavaliers and Magic starting at 8 o'clock Eastern time.
You know, Mark, you know what I would love to do sometime? I would love to go to LeBron James' room and watch the Lakers play and him watch Kobe and him talk to me about what he's seeing, and then vice versa, sit with Kobe as he's watching LeBron. That to me would be a lot of fun.
I think we can arrange that for you, Doug. Here's this too strong on that three-point attempt. I think they'd welcome you.
I would love that. Just to hear these guys talk and just see what they see, and they were obviously teammates in the Olympics. It's going to be a loose ball foul.
It is on Ilgauskas. And game 3 last night, I mentioned the 41 by Kobe. LeBron with 35 and the amazing game winner.
You know what, I didn't get to hear what Kobe said about LeBron's shot. It would have been great if he seen it. I haven't seen it yet. What did he do? Tell me about that shot.
Lewis not able to hit from a three-point land.
And you'd have to be in the witness protection program not to see that shot about 100 times over the last 2 days.
All right, here's Williams for 3. Mo Williams from downtown. And you can hear there is a Cavalier contingent in this crowd.
Well, they're 5 of 10 now, so those two guys, 12 points, he and Delonte West. And when they make shots, it makes LeBron's life a lot easier.
Foul on James, try to put the brakes on, but right into Petrus. And for LeBron, that's his first.
How would you like to have this guy run into you like that as you're picking the ball up? He probably has Michael Petrus outweighed by about 40 pounds.
Coming up on the halfway point of this second quarter, the Magic by 1. They've led by as many as 10. It's game 3 of the Eastern Conference Finals. Series tied at 1. Another three-point attempt that's off. And Petrus loves that spot in the right-hand corner. Courtney Lee now trying to defend on James, who goes right at the top. He beat Lee off the dribble and went around Gortat.
And they have survived that shaky start where they were turning the ball over. The Magic have gone a little cold here, and Cleveland has taken a 1-point lead. When you start missing some shots, teams can get a chance to get back in the game.
Mo Williams took a shot to the head. Max Benton, the athletic trainer, has been a busy guy in this series, racing off the bench to check it out. Well, tonight marks the 40th playoff game telecast by TNT this season, and this year marks the 25th consecutive season that Turner Sports has televised NBA playoffs. The officiating crew, Bill Crawford with Rick Willard, Mark Weatherly, discussing this last play. A personal was called on Mo Williams, and a flagrant 2 called on Anthony Johnson off that elbow to the nose of Williams, and Williams been helped back to the Cavalier dressing room. Flagrant 2, if the contact is interpreted to be unnecessary and excessive, it is a flagrant 2, which also means ejection.
It'll be very interesting to see what they come out of here with this. This could be very big for Orlando because Anthony Johnson has given him nice minutes off the bench, especially when Alston has struggled. Now, Marv, tonight Alston has played well, but in game 2, Rafer Alston was 1 of 7 from the floor, 4 points, and did not have a good game. And Johnson came in, gave him some nice minutes. He played almost 16 minutes in that game, so we'll see where this is going to go.
And now Greg Willard is explaining the call to Anthony Johnson.
Well, so here's what happens. Mo Williams has got to shoot these free throws because it's not a flagrant 2. So if it downgrade this to a flagrant 1, they've come out of their locker room to get Mo Williams so he has to shoot the free throws. If it's a flagrant 2, then Mike Brown could have anybody on the floor shoot the free throws. So he sent, Mike Brown sent somebody back into the locker room to get Mo Williams to come out and shoot his free throws.
Now they've changed it to a flagrant 1, which means that Anthony Johnson remains in the game. And
Mo Williams is coming back into the game. So Anthony Johnson shooting the free throws here. See, he's shooting his 2-shot foul, and then Mo Williams will shoot the flagrant. That's why he has to come back out here, Marv. Otherwise, as I said before, it's a flagrant 2. And with that, they review it, and you look at it, and you can say anybody, then Mike Brown could have anybody on the floor shoot them, but a flagrant 1, that's not the case. So Anthony Johnson misses both these free throws. Now Mo Williams will get his free throws. That's why he had to come back out of the locker room.
so originally it appeared that it was called a flagrant 2, which would have meant that Anthony Johnson
would have been ejected.
Yeah, would have been back in the locker room. And now, Mo Williams apparently took the shot right under the eyelid, or under the eye, under the left eye and the eyelid.
He is not a happy man. You look at those eyes right there, stepping up to the line, and he had insult to injury here. Anthony Johnson misses both of his, and Mo Williams steps up and doesn't even hit the net. So I mean, it's now he's going to go back and be tended to by the athletic trainer Max Benton, who, as you said before, Marv, has been a very busy man in these playoffs.
Cleveland with 9 unanswered points, and after the slow start, they now lead it 32-29. Cavaliers have Delonte West and LeBron James now at the guards. Ilgauskas, Varejao, Pavlovich up front. Here's James to the rim. What a beautiful shot. Moving left, shooting right.
And the problem you have is there's nobody in there to block shots now. Without Dwight Howard, who was the leading shot blocker in the NBA at almost 3 a game, right now Cleveland taking that ball right to the basket with no resistance.
And the blocking foul is called on Ilgauskas.
Here's LeBron once again with that quick first step around Turkoglu, and you can just see no resistance at all. Ilgauskas sort of buried Gortat as he went to the rim there, and there's you see in and out what the game is minus 16 with Howard out of the game, and he's going to be resting for another 5 minutes and 22 seconds. So Orlando's going to have to get their act here. They have gone very flat. Marv, you said this is exactly what they did against the Boston Celtics. Got up to the great start and then went very, very flat.
Turkoglu an 81% free throw shooter during the regular season. Cavaliers now have 4 team fouls. The Magic over the limit. So the Cavs are up by 3 in this game 3 of the Eastern Conference Final Series, tied at 1 apiece. Marv Albert, Doug Collins, Craig Sager. We are in Orlando. Game 4 here in Orlando. Tuesday night, we'll have it for you on TNT. James. Rebound is handled by Gortat. Rafer Alston is back. Alston and Lee at the guards. Lewis, Turkoglu, and Gortat up front. Lee played by West. And the Magic going cold after a good start.
And once again, getting nothing in the paint. Marv, they have 50 points in the paint in game 1, 28 in game 2. Tonight they have 8, and they got those early.
Ilgauskas fouled by Gortat. That was his first shot attempt, although it will not go down as a shot attempt because he was fouled. We'll head to the line. Gortat committing his second.
I talked to Zezunas before the game, and I asked him about his shooting. And, you know, at the end of the year, Mike Brown had talked to him about, do you want to take some days off, you know, going into the playoff? And he said, no, I don't, because I need the rhythm of playing. And when I take time off, I lose my shooting touch, and that's exactly what happened between the series after they eliminated Detroit, the 9 days rest. And then going into that series, he shot 5 of 15 the first 2 games and 12 of 22. And he's taken the same pattern here in this series, 10 of 24 in the first 2 games. So he's one of these guys that the more he plays, he's a big man who needs the rhythm to knock his shots down.
Madrunas making it back from a fractured left ankle. Been bothered by a sore shoulder, so he's a guy that wants to be in there on a regular basis for that rhythm, as you mentioned. Joey Crawford, the outside official, calling a foul. It's on West. That is his first. So Turkoglu back to the line. Of programming reminder, TNT this July. Nathan Ford and his team are back in TNT's Smash Hit Leverage. Don't miss the new season premiere of Leverage this July on TNT.
Well, one of the things I've seen here too, this crowd is very quiet right now, and quietly Cleveland has just sort of worked themselves back into the game. You can see Hedo Turkoglu, what he has done game 1 and game 2, field goals. Most of his work has been done in the second halves of games. Once again tonight, off to a very slow start. He's 0 of 3 from the floor now. He is getting to the free throw line. This will be his 4th attempt in the last couple possessions. So maybe as he sees this ball start to go in the basket a little bit, as he misses this one, he'll see that jump shot start to fall once again.
Cavaliers up by 3 as we come up on 4 minutes to play in the first half. Lewis broke up that pass play. Ilgauskas able to save it, turns and shoots. Rebounded by Lewis. It's a 3-on-1. Petrus all the way. Beautiful setup. James quickly to the front court. And he was hit and fouled. Lewis picks up his second.
That's a good call. I know the fans don't like it here, but LeBron James put the heat on Rashard Lewis, and Rashard Lewis moving sideways got his body into LeBron James, and when he did, LeBron with that strong body went down, and he's going to create all kinds of contact. He's one of those guys. He's a very tough guy to officiate. It reminds me of how Allen Iverson and Shaq are. So much contact on all the plays. You know, what's a foul? Who's creating the foul? Who's creating the contact? But he puts all kinds of pressures on the referee.
He's 4-4 at the line. The NBA's most valuable player, all-NBA first team, the first Cavalier to win the most valuable player award. And at age 24, the youngest player to win it since Moses Malone back in 1979. And that buzzer beater the other night, only the second of his NBA career.
And the first three-pointer to win a game.
Right. He turned out his only three-pointer of the night.
Yes.
Here's Lewis on the drive, and he is hacked.
The flow of this game, Marv, has really stopped. Where it was early, really favoring Orlando. The game was up and down. They were getting in the open court, moving the ball, getting shots. A lot of free throws now, a lot of stoppages to play. I think that helps Cleveland, because when we talk to Stan Van Gundy, he wants to keep the game moving. So this game now, as it's slowed down, has really favored Cleveland. That's why they've been able to take this lead.
Remember the disjointed first half that we saw in game 1. Much of that because of Dwight Howard taking the 24-second clock down. We have that 8.5-minute delay, but it just never did get going.
Right, I agree with that. Even though the Cavs had 63 points at the half, it was never one of those free-flowing games.
Pavlovich. James lost his balance, able to recover. Little Marcus Hezak by LeBron. Shot clock to 3. Ilgauskas. Rebounded, swept by Turkoglu. Here's Lewis. Rashard Lewis with the stuff to give the Magic a 1-point lead, and the Cavaliers call for time. Coming up, it's the T-Mobile halftime report. Ernie, Charles, Kenny, and Reggie will have analysis of the first half. Ernie pretending that he is talking sincerely to someone on the crew, trying to look busy. That's someone he would not talk to under normal circumstances.
There is Mo Williams coming back out. You can see that he had that eye treated. Will be interesting to see if he had to get any stitches and how many. I'm sure Craig Sager will know that very quickly.
Putting a lot of pressure on Craig, but he's ready to give us the info. Craig.
Well, 2 lacerations for Mo Williams under the eye. He had 4 stitches covered up by steri strips. They, of course, will reevaluate him after the game. I asked him if he had trouble focusing when he made those free throws. He said, heck no.
Yeah, Mo looked like he was in a street fight after taking that shot from Anthony Johnson, and Conley went to the line and hit the foul shots, and Mo getting set to check back in. 2.5 to play here in the first half. Cleveland now down by a point. Petrus up tight on James. Ilgauskas, yes. And Zydrunas Ilgauskas with his first field goal.
Now that's a shot he can make. He can really drag that center away from the basket. He has not been shooting it well. That 3 that he missed led to that layup by Rashard Lewis, because Gortat sprinted the floor, took his man with him, and Lewis was a nice trailer on that play. Here's Turkley just cannot find the range here tonight. Now 0-4. He's only 3 points from the free throw line.
James found one of the fouls. Petrus went down. Ilgauskas could not convert. Gortat with the rebound. Delonte West defending on Hedo Turkoglu for a good portion of this first half. Bad pass, and Varejao was right there. Now the foul on Alston. So that'll be free throws. Both teams are over the foul limit.
Well, we talked about the last 2 games, Marv, about what he did in games 4 and game 6 here. A total of 18 points. Look at that, 7 for 27 from the field. Only 2 of 9 from 3 tonight, off to a very slow start. And has made some very careless decisions with the basketball, where he's tried to throw long cross-court passes. We saw him try to throw an alley-oop pass to Dwight Howard from about mid-court. And possession of the basketball right now is so critical.
In that game 7, he did have 13 assists and hit a big shot. And game 1 against the Cavaliers, 14 assists, did not shoot the ball well. And Healy came up with a game winner.
And he's one of these guys that numbers are much better on the road than at home. And normally guys play much better at home, the home crowd, the energy. But Hedo's been a guy that has played much better on the road, especially in the playoffs.
Daniel Gibson with an appearance coming on here for the first time. Did not play at all in game 2. The foul is on Joe Smith. Daniel Gibson, a valuable member of the Cavs in his rookie season 2007. Played exceptionally well in the postseason. Had a toe injury earlier this year. And the question is whether he did truly recover. Game 1, 3 minutes of play. Sat out game 2, fallen out of the rotation, and Mike Brown going with him here in the final minutes of the first half.
Well, how often do we see in the playoffs, you know, where those benches start shrinking? You have timeouts, longer timeouts, guys get a chance to rest. No travel between games, days of rest. Think about this, the Cleveland Cavaliers now, as they started this series, had 17 days total rest, you know, coming in. So Mike Brown felt that his guys were very rested. I mean, Delonte West played 46 minutes the other night in the ball game. LeBron James 42, Mo Williams 42. So those guys' minutes go up. Somebody's minutes are going to be sliding, and it's been Daniel Gibson off the bench.
Orlando is led by as many as 10. Cavaliers now have a 1-point lead. We're approaching a minute to play in the half. Here comes James. Put the move on Gortat. Got a piece of it. Second block shot for Gortat. And both have been against James. Turkoglu on the low post, trying to take advantage. Rebounded by Smith.
Delonte West, a tough defender down there. He's undersized, but he played Rip Hamilton. He's played Joe Johnson. Now he's playing Hedo Turkoglu, doing a nice job fighting him down. And that post made him take a very tough shot.
Courtney Lee now trying to defend on James. Here's Gibson for three. Rebounded by Gortat.
That's been one of those big shots for Gibson. He's one of the very, very streaky shooter.
Gortat, nice catch, and that will count. That's a goal check.
They caught LeBron on that one. He thought he was going to be able to sneak up from behind that chase down that we talked about. This time it was in the half court. Gortat with a beautiful catch, a left-handed hook pass from Rafer Alston, and there is LeBron James coming from that weak side with that left hand trying to get the shot block.
We've seen that, Doug, on a number of occasions. Gortat has terrific hands.
Yes, he does, and he's fast. He can really run the floor.
6-second differential between the game clock and shot clock. Petrus all over James. Does not go for the fake. James way off the mark. Turkoglu pushes it ahead. Lee, Gortat stripped and fouled.
There you see him running the floor. And as I said before, the one time that Rashard Lewis got the layup, it's because Gortat ran the floor, took a defender with him, and Lewis was able to lay it up. But watch him run right down the middle of the floor. And you know, as a big guy, you can't get discouraged. And what I mean by that is a lot of times you run the floor and you don't get the ball, but you've just got to keep running, and eventually good things will happen for you. I think it's the toughest thing sometimes for big guys. They feel like they're not rewarded, and sometimes they just want to stop running.
Foul on Mo Williams, a reach, and Gortat struggles at the line during the season, 58%. But Marcin Gortat has been a major factor in this first half when you consider Dwight Howard was able to stay on the floor for what, 10 minutes because of the 3 fouls.
Now, if you're looking at from Orlando, you say, okay, you know, you make this free throw, Gortat, you're up 2 going into halftime unless LeBron does something sensational here in the last 3 seconds. So we don't never know. Or Mo Williams, who hit a 80-foot shot the other night as well in the game 1. So, I mean, if you're Orlando, you got off to the great start. Hedo Turkoglu has not played well. He's 0-5. Lewis has gotten off to a good start with 11, as has Alston. But for the most part, your big guy in the middle has not done much, and you'd be right in the game with a 2-point lead.
Let's take a quick look at the upcoming schedule presented by Degree. For men, we'll be back here for game number 4 on Tuesday night. Airtime at 8 o'clock at the pregame, 8 o'clock Eastern time. And then game 5 back in Cleveland on Thursday and right here on TNT. So 2 8/10 seconds remaining in the half. And Marcin Gortat will have a second free throw. He was originally a second-round pick by the Suns. That was back in 2005, acquired by Orlando for cash considerations. Played just 6 games last season with the Magic, but has had his moments this year. However, missed the 2 free throws. Here's Williams. Oh,
that's almost the same spot that he was in the other day.
In game 1, he hit that 67-footer at halftime. So Cleveland just 1 field goal the last 5.5 minutes. 1 of the last 9 from the floor. The Magic with a 42-41 lead at the half. They've led by as many as 10. The high point man, LeBron James, with 18, but just 5 of 14 from the field. And Rashard Lewis and Rafer Alston, the high men for Orlando, with 11. Here's Craig with Rashard Lewis.
Well, Rashard, 11 points from you is no surprise, but Rafer Alston coming up with 11 is. How did you get so much offensive production out of him?
Usually I slip on a pick and roll, and they seem to be staying with me tonight, and they're not showing as much. And then I started setting a pick on the guard. He's getting into the paint, and they're letting him get open shots, but I'm sure they won't in the second half.
This team is known for Dwight Howard in the paint and you guys in the perimeter making threes. Yeah. However, defensively, Cleveland's only made 1 of their last 9. What are you doing defensively against them?
Closing out to that shooter's hard, but mainly trying to keep the paint closed because LeBron somehow seems to find his way to the rim every time. So we got to contain him a little bit because he's the one that's keeping them in this game.
All right, thank you very much. And right now, the Magic with a 1-point lead in intermission. We'll be back with the T-Mobile halftime report. EJ, Kenny, Charles, and Reggie Miller.
We're back in Orlando, game 3 of this Eastern Conference Final. The Magic trailing at halftime the first 2 games of the series by 15 and then by 12, but they have a a 1-point lead here on the Cavaliers as they play for the first time at home in this series. Marv Albert, Doug Collins, Craig Sager. LeBron James stat line in the first half, 5 of 14, 18 points. What's your feel for LeBron's play in the first half?
Well, once again, he has 43% of their points. In the series, he has 42% of the points, so he's doing everything he can to keep his team in the game. This with the defensive block when he traced Courtney Lee down from behind, cutting without the ball. He gets the layup. You talked about how it's important to keep him out of the paint. This is the reason why. Just overpowers Gortat, and nice little dribble, little floater across his body as he gets into the paint. Got to the line 8 times, 8 of 8 from the foul line. So 18 points for LeBron. And then if you look at the Orlando front court, this is the strength of the team. Lewis, a great start, 4 of 5. Howard, 6 points, 3 fouls, played less than 10 minutes. Hedo Turkoglu, 5 points, 0 of 5. 5 of 6 from the free throw line. And Turkoglu, this is a guy who is much better on the road, so he's going to have to find a way in this second half. You see his numbers, Marv, at home in the playoffs, 12 points, 32%. Look at the three-point shooting. They need him because he's been the fourth quarter guy to either score or assist. And when he's playing well, everybody feeds off his ability, especially in that fourth quarter.
Everything down for Turkoglu in the first half. 0 of 5, as you mentioned, only 2 assists. Cleveland ball as this third quarter gets underway. Here's James from Williams, and he had nowhere to go. The ball was deflected out. Last touch by the Magic. And you can hear the reaction from the crowd. They felt that LeBron lost it. Cleveland shooting just 38% from the field in the first half, 14 of 37. And Orlando at 47%, 10 assists for the Cavs, just 9 for the Magic. Cleveland out-rebounded Orlando 21-15. Here's West. And Lee pulls it down. Alston and Lee in the backcourt. Howard is back playing with 3 fouls up front with Lewis and Turkoglu. So Dwight Howard with only 10 minutes on the floor in the first half because of the foul trouble. Howard going at Ilgauskas. It counts in the foul. Ilgauskas picks it up, and Howard will go to the line. He actually got off to a fast start with Dwight Howard in the opening minutes, but was not able to stay on the floor.
Well, when LeBron getting into the paint, he put all kinds of pressure on Howard to pick up fouls, but this was the problem the other night. When he caught the ball close to the basket in game 1, he was able to get to the basket and score and get in the paint. He had 6 dunks in that game, but in game 2, they pushed him out on the floor a little bit, Marv. They were able to get down with their double teams, and he was not as decisive. Tonight, he's been much more decisive, and that's a big three-point play to get this quarter started.
Let's check in with Craig Sager. Craig.
Well, Mike Brown wants LeBron James to keep going to the basket. He says that's where good things happen for us. Unofficially, he was 4 for 5 from the paint. Also leading to 8 for 8 from the free throw line and 0 for 9 from the perimeter. As for Mo Williams, he spent the halftime laying on the trainer's table with Max Benton, the athletic trainer. They had ice on it to keep the swelling down. And as for Hedo Turkoglu, Doug, I was talking to him today. He's a proud father. He and his wife Banu have a 3-month-old daughter named Ella. He says he's a proud father, all right, but he says, I'm not getting any sleep at home. I told Banu that she better send her relatives here if this thing keeps going, because we need help with our daughter. Mark?
Blame it on the kids. Come on. Varejao fouled by Alston. And able to knock down both. So the Magic now up by 2 with a minute gone by in this third quarter. Mike Brown staying with the matchup of Delonte West against the 6'10 Hedo Turkoglu. Here's Lee. Courtney Lee with that most unusual release.
Well, what you're also seeing in the game plan, they're really getting Ilgauskas involved in all the pick and rolls, whether it be Courtney Lee or Alston, trying to make him come out and defend.
Pass intended for Ilgauskas, knocked away by Lewis.
It's that side pick and roll once again, and you see as Radunas Ilgauskas just trying to drop back, and nice play by Courtney Lee. The concentration there, looked like he got his arm grabbed as he was going up into that shot, and great concentration to finish and knock that shot down.
Oh, Williams saving that pass along the sideline. Turkoglu defending on James. Shot clock to 3. James And a foul. As Turkoglu made contact, got James right at the top of the head.
Well, Turkoglu, that's a bad foul. I mean, LeBron James, the clock is winding down. You've just heard Craig Sager talk about that LeBron is 0 for 9 from outside the paint. Takes a contested shot, leaning in. Hits him right on top of the head, right there as he hits him in the side of the head. And that's going to be called a foul. I'm sorry, whether it be a touch foul or whatever. When you hit a guy in the head shooting a shot, that's going to be 2 free throws. This is his 9th and 10th free throws here of the game. And you can see here in the second half, Mark, this is what I was talking about. He had 43% of the points in the first half, but in game 1, he outscored his team when Orlando came roaring back from a 16-point deficit and won that game. And then in game 2, it was 22 for the rest of his teammates and 18 for LeBron. So, I mean, he's having to score almost half the points in the second half to win one of those 2 games.
Cavaliers maintained possession, was deflected out by Alston. They will make an adjustment to the shot clock. Full 24 put up. There's James looking for the screen from Varejao. James with a little curl. Beautiful move by LeBron. Cavaliers now down by 1. Alston tried to set it up for Howard. Kept alive by Lee. Rafer Alston got off to the fast start. Alston. Varejao with the rebound.
They're going underneath all those screen rolls. That's why Alston had that jump shot in the first half. You saw LeBron that time just go under the pick and basically said, we're going to give you that 15-foot jump shot.
Ilgauskas, yes. Zydrunas Ilgauskas very quiet in the first half. That's his 2nd field goal. And the Cavaliers recapture the lead, up by 1. Orlando at one point led by as many as 10. Howard getting in deep. Ilgauskas wisely stepped away. Howard with the rebound. This time he's hit. A reaching foul on Williams.
That's a nice play, though. What happened is Dwight Howard was in a screen roll. Ilgauskas really showed up hard on that screen. They're really trapping Turkoglu, forcing him to give that ball up. But what happens is Howard dives right to the opposite side. So when they swing that ball, he's got great post-up position. And Big Z could not get back into the play. And Howard's going to go once again to that line. So good little misdirection that time by Howard. Just go right to follow the flight of the ball and go to the opposite post.
He's 3 of 5 at the line. Now make it 4 out of 6.
Now see, watch where Ilgauskas is here, Marvin. There's Howard. He's going to set this screen. All right, he's going to slip now, and he's out of the play. Now, when you go across court like that, now look where Howard is. He's right underneath the rim. That's a great, call that a misdirection play. You get the action going one way, you come back the other, and that's when he's at his best, when he's had his head underneath the rim.
And he's been getting that position here tonight, although the problem has been foul trouble, keeping him on the bench. 11 points for Howard. James. Rebounded by Howard.
Now 0 of 10 on jump shots, so 6 of 16. Now all 6 of those baskets have come in the paint. There's that deep post position once again.
It's a bad matchup for the Cavaliers with Ilgauskas defending on Howard.
Well, it all starts too because they're blitzing those pick and rolls. They're really showing out on Turkoglu, and it's really opening up the floor for the Magic.
Oh, Williams flipping one up. Comes to Ilgauskas. They swing it. James cannot find the range on the perimeter shot. Lee. Yes. Timeout, Cavaliers. Orlando by 6. 7 unanswered points over the last minute for the Magic.
Well, Dwight Howard going to work inside using his speed and those big, strong shoulders. Courtney Lee, what a mature young guy for a rookie, knocking down the shot. Orlando by 6.
Seen their share of tough losses this postseason. 5 of their 6 total defeats have been by 4 points or less, including 2 buzzer beaters. Glenn Big Baby Davis for the Celtics, and then LeBron with that extraordinary shot to win game 2 in Cleveland. Meanwhile, the Cavaliers having their difficulties here. Just 3 of the last 16 over the last 9 minutes of play, and they're trailing by 6 points. 4 minutes gone by in the third. Fires out, kicks it back out, shot clock down to 3, and Lee with the steal. Lee on the breakaway. James could not get him from behind.
That's what he did in game 1. Remember, he felt LeBron James coming. He got his steps together and dunked the ball. He said in that game, LeBron went up to him and said, nice play, acknowledging that he knew he was coming from behind. What a great play by Courtney Lee.
Courtney Lee has played well, 4 of 8, 9 points. One-time counselor at LeBron James' summer camp. So they'll have something to talk about in a month or two. Howard getting in deep, and they wrap him up. Dwight Howard is fouled.
Well, this is Courtney Lee tonight. LeBron from behind, sort of quick dunks it, and then in game 1, it was the same play. You see him there, LeBron trying to get his steps together, and Courtney Lee flushes it. So in this series, in the 3 games, Courtney Lee has been able to sort of quick dunk LeBron James. You cannot flip that ball up there. You see what he's done here tonight, 9 points. And Mark, one of my keys to tonight's game were Mo Williams and Delonte West. They were going to have to make some shots tonight. 5 of 14. They are 2 of 6 from the 3-point line. LeBron James has not made a jump shot tonight.
Alston not able to hit. That foul was charged to Ilgauskas, number 4. Here's James to the left hand, and he'll head to the line. Stan Van Gundy was very upset that that was not called a shooting foul for Dwight Howard as Ilgauskas wrapped him up. Lewis picks up his 3rd. Cavaliers and the Magic each with 3 team fouls. National coverage of the NBA playoffs continues tomorrow on ESPN. It'll be game 4 between the Lakers and the Nuggets. Lakers with the victory last night. Kobe Bryant putting up 41 points. Coverage starts 8 o'clock Eastern time tomorrow on ESPN. And then Tuesday we'll be back with you here on TNT game 4 between the Cavs and the Magic from Orlando, starting at 8 o'clock Eastern time.
Now you got a different matchup. You have Varejao with Howard, and again, those pick and rolls with Turkoglu have really bothered them because they're making such a conscious effort to trap him. Let's see if maybe they make a little adjustment. This time with Alston, they go way under that screen.
Alston puts it in place for Howard.
Well, you can see the impact of Howard. He's fresh and ready to go after playing less than 10 minutes. He now has 15 points and only 14 minutes of playing time.
Orlando with an 8-point lead. Here's an open shot for Williams. Yes, that's a 3-pointer, says Joe Crawford. Mo Williams knocking down the corner 3. Lee beating the Cavs down court, passed on the shot. Alston on the spin. Alston flips it up. Howard with the rebound and a foul. A loose ball foul. It's on Varejao.
Yeah, and the Cavaliers are saying that Howard threw an elbow after the play. LeBron is talking to him that after the play that he threw an elbow. Remember now, he was suspended in the Philadelphia 76ers series for hitting Samuel Dellenberg. Now watch, after the play is over, said he did not hit anybody, but that's what happened in the Philadelphia series when he cracked Dellenberg and was suspended for the next game. That's when Gortat came in, and Rashard Lewis had the big game 6 down on the low post.
Pass intended for Howard, and it is a 3-second violation. Dwight Howard showing some anxiety. He thought he was going to pick up number 4.
I like his activity. I mean, they're really looking inside to him now. If he'll take his time and get that position and they give help, then it's going to free up that shooting. They'll be playing inside and out, which is their strength.
The Magic 58, the Cavaliers 53, game 3 of this Eastern Conference Final Series, all tied at 1. Varejao picked off by Alston, and a foul. Not a good foul by Varejao. That's his 4th. And puts the Cavs over the limit.
That makes it even a worse foul. You know, you put Alston to the line. And, you know, Marv has this expression, you know, when you make a mistake, try to have the mindset of going to the next play. You know, okay, you made the mistake, get back, play the next play. And instead of that, Varejao reaches in. Now, Ben Wallace is going to come into the game. So now you're going to have a very small front line. Ben Wallace, who is not the same Ben Wallace he was when he was at Detroit. He's had leg problems. He had that fracture in his leg. He's had a knee problem. Now you have Ilgauskas, who is struggling with the speed and quickness of the game, having to be out, and Varejao is out. So you have your two bigger guys, and now a very small front line for Cleveland.
Varejao sits down. Another subpar game for Varejao. Played well in game 1. Not the case in game 2, and here tonight he attempted one shot, 0 for 1. His 3 rebounds, 4 fouls in 15 minutes.
Well, remember, he started that game 1 out. LeBron had the ball isolated on the wing, and it was like playing a zone defense. And what happened? He had 6 straight points to start that game.
Wallace obviously not looking to shoot.
Yeah, you really don't even have to guard him out there right now, so you can really be aggressive on the other players.
Saved by Alston, but he deflected it inadvertently off his teammate, Rashard Lewis.
Let's stay loud, Magic fans, for you.
So it'll be Cleveland ball. Smith tried to set a pick, could not. So LeBron backs it up, now played by Lewis. This is shades of what we saw in game 1. As James again misses a jumper, kept alive though by Williams. The alley-oop for LeBron James. Oh, look out! He took a shot as that follow-through was completed. Just under 5 left in the 3rd quarter. Foul on Smith.
See, that's what happens with Turkey. They're so concerned about him coming off the screen, and Marvin's like, he's 0 for 5 tonight. And I'm not so sure. I wouldn't soften up my defense a little bit out there, play him a little bit back, make him make a couple shots. You know, Mike Brown said he was very upset at himself after game 1. He didn't feel like he adjusted to the pick and roll with Rashard Lewis. When he rolled out in that second half, he had about 3 or 4 jump shots. And this might be one of those situations where he starts thinking about, maybe I want to play Turkoglu a little differently here on this screen roll. LeBron James here, we've seen how many times when he goes without that basketball, and after it comes up, it sort of hits him in the face. And a little drama there. He's a pretty good actor there, LeBron.
He's had some experience.
Yes, he does. He does great on those commercials. See, Marv, this is what I was talking about. He hadn't made a shot yet. And you know, sometimes you keep your defense very aggressive against him, but I might make him hit a shot or two and try to soften up my defense a little bit, because what they're doing with that screen roll, they're really spreading Cleveland out, and that's how they're getting in the lane either with Howard or getting those open jump shots.
Orlando 7 of 7 at the line in this 3rd quarter. And that is last touched by the Magic. Pray for Alston with a vote of confidence for the lead official, Joey Crawford.
Yeah. Not sure that's the guy you want to be rubbing his head at that particular moment.
Here's Williams for 3. Rebounded by Turkoglu. And the whistle away from the ball. It's Joe Crawford with the call down low. It's a 3-second.
Foul number 4, Ben Wallace.
Oh, they say Ben Wallace on the foul.
See, that's that early offense again, Marv, that he talked about. Look at Dwight Howard. He's running right to the front of the rim, and they're going to say that Wallace impeded his progress. Now, this is a chance to step up to the line and try to get this to a double-digit lead going into that 4th period. But you got to start making your free throws. Howard tonight is 5 of 7 after being 4 of 8 in game 2.
During the regular season, just 59% from the line.
And you see the difference he's made in the game tonight. Is as much as I've talked about what a good job Gortat has done, you can see just the power and the strength and what he does to your defense. Dwight Howard, you've got to collapse. It's sort of like an accordion. You collapse in there, and when it does, it just gives you all kinds of space on the perimeter to play.
1 of 2 for Howard. 8-point Magic lead. They led by as many as 10 early on. Coming up on 4 minutes remaining in this third quarter. Here's West. Nice move by Delonte West. It's a 7-inch height differential between Delonte West defending on Hedo Turkoglu. Alston, shot clock at 6. Goes up the teardrop and a foul. A blocking foul. Joe Crawford with the call from the outside. It's a block. It's on Wallace. That's his third. And now Michael Petrus will check back in.
Rafer Alston with a little floater. They rule it. Ben Wallace was not there when that shot was released. Actually felt like that he came underneath him after Rafer Alston had thrown up that little floater.
Rafer Alston has played for 5 NBA teams. Came over in that 3-team trade, coming over from the Rockets. He's also made his way through the CBA, the D-League over the last 10 years. Rafer saying it's really unusual to be traded from one contender to another. Usually it's contender to a team of less expectation. So he felt very fortunate to come to Orlando, and the reason that the Magic made the trade was because of the injury suffered by Jameer Nelson, was having an all-star season, but halfway through dislocated his right shoulder. Here's West again. Delonte West with 2 straight buckets for the Cavs. 65-59 Orlando. Petrus played by Smith. Nice play by Smith on the steal.
Yeah, very careless pass. You got to. One of the things that, Marv, that's a lost art in the NBA is post passing. Throw that ball into the post.
And at the other end, Smith not able to hit. Wallace with the rebound.
Extra shots at the basket. This is what Cleveland's been able to stay in the game with.
West coming up short. Played well by Petrus. Lee getting it down low. Howard gives it back. Here's Lewis to the rim. Howard rebounds and a foul.
Timeout, Magic. Orlando, timeout.
Foul is on Dwight Howard. That is number 4.
We've had some spectacular plays here. Above the rim, we've seen Courtney Lee. We've seen Dwight Howard, LeBron James set up once again for a photo finish.
So amazing, so amazing.
6-point lead for the Magic. Back home here at Amway Arena. Usual sellout crowd, better than 17,000 turning out for this game 3 of the Eastern Conference Final. Here's Usher, a minority owner of the Cleveland Cavaliers. Perennial Pro Bowler Ray Lewis of the Baltimore Ravens. Paulo Cruiser of the Utah Jazz on hand, as is Dwayne Wade of the Miami Heat. And Tigers in the house. Tiger Woods enjoying a weekend off. Frequent visitor to Magic games. Makes his home just outside of Orlando. Dwight Howard just picked up number 4 and was also hit with a technical foul.
Well, Rashard Lewis drives to the basket. He sort of stumbles. He trips over his own heel, throws up a little floater, and then a push in the back by Howard, which is where the foul was committed. You see Delonte West and Joe Smith after the fact sort of scrambling around a little bit there with Dwight Howard. Was not happy with the call. He says something to either Joey Crawford or Greg Willard or somebody. Looks like Joey Crawford is talking. And with Joey Crawford, there's Patrick Ewing saying, please, no, no, no. Too late, Patrick.
So Mo Williams will shoot the technical. He's 2 of 2 at the line and cannot convert. Marcin Gortat played well in the first half. Coming off of Howard is back on the floor. He has actually played more minutes than Howard.
46 free throws already taken in this game tonight. There were 51 in game 2. only 31 in game 1, so a lot more fouling now as this game is going on, the series is going on, especially taking a lot of fouls in the paint with the big players.
Alston put the speed on, and it was blocked by Smith. Good recovery. Joe Smith coming over to help.
Great weak side help there. That's where Alston's got to go in with that left hand to try to get contact rather than to flip a weak shot up there.
Shot clock down to 7. James played by Lee. Backs his way. Nice pass. Beautifully done. LeBron James to Ben Wallace.
That's what happens when you help off Ben Wallace. That's when he's an opportunity scorer. He either gets to the offensive boards, he gets those kind of dunks. That's when he was at his best with the Pistons.
7 assists for James. Oh, James took it away from Lewis. Took it right out of his hands.
See why he was in consideration for the Defensive Player of the Year. He steals his blocks.
Smith. Deflected out and batted out of bounds by James, who does not like the call. He says he did not touch it. He felt that it was knocked out by Alston.
Yeah, and actually he did not hit the ball. Neither one of them did. And so it was really the shot from Joe Smith just went out of bounds on its own.
It's a 4-point game, just under a minute and a half to play in this third quarter. Lee looking for Gortat, but he's being fronted. Alston. Rebounded by Smith, who's done a nice job.
That's what they want Joe Smith to do, come with that weak side defense. We saw a shot block, do his rebounding, and then knock down those medium-range jump shots.
James tried to set it up for Wallace, kicked it back. James for Smith, not expecting the pass. And off the steal, here comes Petrus. Yes! And it counts. The foul on West. Petrus will go to the line.
That's when Orlando is really dangerous, and Cleveland knows that. That's why Mike Brown talks about steals, points off turnovers. It really hurt him in the first quarter. Cleveland has done a better job. This is a turnover, chance for a three-point play by Michael Petrus, who once again is coming off the bench and doing a nice job. Delonte West tried to wrap him up, and Petrus did a nice job of keeping that ball away. And then the great concentration to finish, Marv. This is a guy who had a lot of injuries this year, and actually they got him to be a starter, to be a little bit more athletic at that two-guard position. Didn't know what they were going to be able to get from Courtney Lee early, but he's been all kinds of injuries now coming off the bench and really been very, very effective for them.
Sat out 28 games early in the season. Sidelined by a fractured right wrist. Three-point play for Petrus. 7-point lead for the Magic. Oh, Williams lost it. And the ball is back to Orlando.
Also a chance for a 2-for-1 possession here. Let's see if they push this ball up the floor. If you're Stan Van Gundy, you'd feel better if you could get this to double digits, especially knowing that you got LeBron James, who's been so great in the fourth periods of both the games that have been played in Cleveland.
13 turnovers committed by the Cavs, 8 by the backcourt. Here's Petrus, and a travel is called. Down to 25 seconds to go in the third quarter. Game 3 of this best-of-7 Eastern Conference Final. They're even at 1. The Magic could have easily come out of Cleveland with that 2-0 lead. But LeBron James connecting on that miraculous three-pointer with 1 second remaining on the clock. Hit the buzzer beater. Shot clock here to 2, down to 1. James to the left hand, just could beat the shot clock buzzer, and time runs out. Here in the third. The Magic 68, the Cavaliers 63. As we take a break, stay tuned for the world premiere of Modern Warfare 2. Coming to you now. A moment ago, Craig Sager talked with Orlando head coach Stan Van Gundy.
Well, Coach, you've had to play all evening with Dwight Howard in foul trouble, his 5th technical in the playoffs, another story, but how does that impact you in the 4th quarter?
Well, I think we've been very good when he's been in there. He's played very well inside. We just haven't been able to play very many minutes with him. It's been difficult, but we've been there before, and we just got to keep fighting.
LeBron James is scoring, but he's not shooting well from the perimeter. Is that your defense, or is there something you can do?
He's probably just missing shots, but if he dribbles, it's a foul. He's on the free throw line, so it's very hard to play.
Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot.
All right, Craig, 4th quarter underway as Courtney Lee comes up short. Craig mentioned that was technical foul number 5 in the postseason on Dwight Howard. If you reach 7, you are suspended for a game.
Well, LeBron James resting right now. Let's see what Orlando can do. This is Ilgauskas. That's his favorite spot. He just has not been able to make those long threes that he made in the regular season. But can Orlando push this lead with LeBron on the bench?
Here's Turkoglu. Has the ball knocked out of his hands. And last touch by the Cavaliers. Orlando has 10 on the shot clock. James sitting down with 27.7 assists, 5 rebounds. Hedo Turkoglu 0 for 5 from the field. Petrus will throw in as Turkoglu. Played by West. Turkoglu for 3. Kept alive, another possession for the Magic. Gortat, yes.
That's the difference with Gortat. He will make that little jump shot where Dwight Howard won't look to shoot it. So with your coverages, you have to get to him a little sooner than Howard, who you sort of close out on very slowly and make him drive the ball to you.
Ilgauskas goes back out to West. Ilgauskas backing his way on Gortat. Try to get into the scoring column. He's been off 2 of 8 from the field. Here comes Petrus to the rim. Rebounded by Ilgauskas.
But Delonte West looks tired here, dragging behind the plate. Played a ton of minutes.
Pavlovich not able to hit. And the question is, where are the Cavaliers going to get scoring with LeBron sitting out?
And can this guy finally get hot in the 4th quarter?
And Turkoglu again, not able to hit. Williams comes up short. Both clubs struggling. Petrus is open. The rebound handled by West.
That's a big shot there. You miss a layup on one end. Normally those 3 goes. That would have put it to a 10-point lead. Mike Brown just hoping his team can hold on here at all until he can get LeBron back on the floor.
West got the step, and he is fouled. And now LeBron James will make his way back in. Foul committed by Lee. Let's check in with Craig.
Well, Dwight Howard was suspended for Game 6 of the opening series against Philadelphia. Stan Van Gundy was asked if his team had a bunker mentality. He said, guys, leave all military references out of this. We're playing a game. Our troops overseas, they are risking their lives, paying the ultimate sacrifice for our country. He immediately got a response from Lieutenant Colonel Rob Hunt thanking him for his respect. The 2 have been texting back and forth on a daily basis. Stan showed me his text before the game tonight, and it was from Lieutenant Colonel Rob Hunt. He said, hey, you take care of your home court advantage tonight. And just I want you to know that the entire planning operations division of the U.S. forces are overseas watching the game tonight. As a Memorial Day message from Lieutenant Colonel Rob Hunt to Stan Van Gundy. Mark.
All right, thanks, Craig. Delonte West to the free throw stripe. 1 of 1 at the line. And once again, you look at the numbers. West 4 of 10 shooting. Williams 4 of 12 shooting.
And you throw in Ilgauskas that I talked about before. Those guys now are 10 for 30.
Cavaliers only 36% overall. Petrus draws the foul. 3 on West.
Foul on number 13, Delonte West. His 3rd first team foul. Michael Petrus shooting 2.
So 2 shots for Petrus. Dwight Howard with very low production in the fourth quarter. That goes back to game 6 and 7 against Boston. Usually he enters the fourth quarter in foul trouble, which obviously changes his game.
And he did it again tonight, but there's 36 minutes he played in these games. So, you know, when you talk about touches, for him, it doesn't always mean it's going to equate to points. And you can see only 2 shots, so 7 total points. So their fourth quarter guys are Turkoglu and Lewis, and Turkoglu tonight is 0 for 7. So they're going to need something from Dwight Howard.
Ilgauskas wide open. Yes. And let's see if that gets him going. 72-66 Orlando. We're early in the fourth. They double up on Turkoglu. As Howard forced out by Ilgauskas. Lewis for 3. Rashard Lewis continuing the pattern. He has come up huge with the 3 ball in the fourth quarter.
But see, that went into Howard, got the double team, so you get the 3, so he doesn't get an assist off that. This is going to be a moving pick. And Marv, Howard does not get an assist because it was the second pass that got the assist. The 3-pointer by Rashard Lewis, so inside out. That's what I was talking about. Sometimes you get the touch, it doesn't equate to points, but your team gets 3. Here it is, the pass, the hockey assist, boom, the knockdown 3, inside out, and a 3-pointer by the Magic.
It's just what we said. If we get stops, they cannot keep up with us in transition. Dwight will be open under the rim. We'll get wide open shots.
Well, that's how their offense is triggered by their defense in the open floor. Mark, 12 fast break points for the Magic tonight, only 2. And remember, early in the game, it was those forced turnovers early in the game that really got the Magic off to the great start. So we'll see tonight with this finish. And I think the question right now for Cleveland, nobody is making an outside jump shot. Not LeBron. He's 1 of 12 from the perimeter, 7 of 8 from the paint. Mo Williams 4 of 12. West 4 of 10. Ilgauskas is 3 of 9. So who's going to make a jump shot here coming down the stretch for Cleveland?
And that 1 of the 1 of 12 was a 16-footer by LeBron back in the first quarter. Howard going at Ilgauskas, lost it. Here comes James, putting the speed out, going to the left hand, and he is fouled. There was no way they were going to let him get that shot off.
And he's so fast. I mean, you cannot backpedal with him. You've got to turn and run, and you can see Rashard Lewis trying to backpedal. It's like a locomotive coming at you in the open court with strength and balance and power. And how important it's going to be for the Orlando Magic to try to keep him off the foul line. He's 11 of 12 from the line tonight.
And as I mentioned earlier, the Orlando Magic with much success, regular season and postseason, against the Cleveland Cavaliers. Orlando has won 5 of the last 6 over Cleveland here in Orlando. They've won 9 of the last 13 meetings overall against Cleveland. A Cleveland team that went 66-16 in the regular season. Best record in the NBA. Foul is called on West. That's number 4. And a Cleveland team that is very good on the road at 27-14. One of the best road records in the NBA. In fact, the most road wins in franchise history.
Mark, can you imagine how devastating Howard's going to be in the post when he can start to go across the middle and stop and turn and shoot a little 5, 6, 7 foot jump shot off the glass? That last time he just tried to force himself across to the middle and there was no place to go. If he would roll back, he'd have a wide open shot.
Now here's Petrus wide open for 3. And Williams came away with it. 7.5 to go in the fourth. An 8-point lead for the Magic. West, yes, from downtown.
So he was going to start making a shot. So all of a sudden, back in it, 75-70.
And the foul is called. That is number 5 on Delonte West. West 5 of 11 for 12 points. A guy that Mike Brown would like to keep on the floor, but he will not as Sasha Pavlovich checks in. You see the foul run down. The 5 on West, 4-piece on Williams, Ilgauskas, and Varejao. 4 on Lewis, 4 on Howard.
Now Pavlovich is in the game to play Turkoglu. Remember, Turkoglu was able to go one-on-one against him and get his shot at the end of that ball game.
Petrus passed at a 3. Petrus to the rim. Went right at Ilgauskas.
That was a great play. I love what Petrus did there. Normally he settles for that 3. Now twice we've seen him drive the ball to the basket, either get to the free throw line or make a nice finish. That's what you got to do. You got to mix up your game.
12 points for Michael Petrus. Varejao set the pick. Here's James going at Howard.
He's so strong. I mean, Dwight Howard, that guy is so strong in the lane, but LeBron, he just bounces off of you.
Turkoglu trying to get it to Howard. James puts the move on Petrus. Ilgauskas. Rebounded by Varejao, and he is fouled.
That's Howard. That'll be 5. Let's see who they call that on. I think they're going to call it on. They're going to give it to Lewis. So big break there for the Magic. That would have been Howard's 5th.
13 foul on Orlando. But Rashard Lewis picks up number 5, and Tony Bettine will come on for the first time.
Now that really helps the Cleveland Cavaliers because Bettine's a nice little medium-range shooter, but Rashard Lewis stretches you all the way out behind that 3-point line, so Cleveland should take advantage of this.
James for 3. Howard with the rebound. Here's Turkoglu putting a move on Pavlovich, and he is fouled. Nice hesitation move by Hedo Turkoglu. So Hedo will go to the line where he has hit 7 of 8. A programming reminder, TBS Wednesdays, Brown is back. We got the family together for the new season premiere of Tyler Perry's Meet the Browns, right after brand new episodes of House of Pain. That'll be Wednesday, 10 o'clock Eastern Time, only on TBS.
Marv, you look at the numbers for Cleveland right now. If I would have said to you, you're 4 of 18 from 3. You're shooting 38% from the floor. You got 14 turnovers that led to 19 points. You're on the road. LeBron has not made a jump shot tonight, and you're only going to be trailing 7 points after this. You go, how in the world is that happening? Because Cleveland is a very good defensive team, and their defense is giving them a chance to stay in this and possibly steal this game at the end.
And free throws have certainly helped the Magic in the second half. They've hit 15 of 16 at the line. Mo Williams. Well, Delonte West sitting down after picking up number 5, and the Cavaliers now hoping that Mo Williams can catch fire. It's a 5-point game. 5.5 to play in the 4th. Here's Turkoglu. Rebound Howard, and he's fouled.
He got fouled by about 3 guys on that play. 1 guy before he shot it and 2 afterwards. Now it's going to be, can Dwight Howard step up and make free throws? But they're not going to let him dunk the ball.
Welcome back to Orlando. Dwight Howard at the line, shooting 2 with a 5-point lead. This season, Howard made slam dunks both on the court and in the community by building new playgrounds to give youngsters a fun and safe place to play, visiting schools, and creating a center where local teams could explore their educational and creative interests. Howard made a difference in the lives of Orlando's youth. The NBA, where caring happens. Mark.
All right, thank you, Craig. Just under 5.5 remaining in this 4th quarter. Howard 6 of 9 at the line.
Well, in game 1, he was 14 of 20 from the floor and attempted only 2 free throws. He steps up and knocks this in. And after game 1, Mike Brown talked to his team and he said, we cannot give him those kind of dunks and layups. In game 2, he got only 1 dunk. Tonight, this is going to be his 11th free throw attempt. So the message was sent. Take the fouls, and this is where Dwight Howard steps up. Those are 2 big free throws for his team.
And Doug, he has hit 7 of his last 8 at the line. 7-point Magic lead. Rashard Lewis getting set to check back in with the 5 fouls. Here's Ilgauskas. Well, the Magic wanted a travel called on Zydrunas, but instead he will head to the line. He was fouled by Batiste.
These are just long steps, Marv. There are 3 of them, but they're long. 1, 2. That's the old extra half step that Z's used to.
It's the Zydrunas crab dribble. He is 1 of 2 at the line. Timeouts remaining. Cleveland 3 full and a 20. Orlando 2 full and a 20, and both teams over the limit. Ilgauskas has not hit his shot tonight. He's had many opportunities, 3 of 10 from the field.
And normally a very good free throw shooter. Going into tonight's game, he was 12 of 20 in the playoffs. So his touch has not been there from the field or the free throw line. He's one of those big guys, a little bit like Yao Ming, that actually could shoot your technical free throws. That's how good a free throw shooter he is.
But despite all the problems the Cavs have had here this evening, they are down by just 5 with much time remaining. Howard putting a move on Varejao. James trying to strip him, and a foul. LeBron James nearly took the ball away from Dwight Howard. Instead, a foul is called, and that's number 3 on LeBron.
Well, this is what I was talking about, though. See, watch him. He's going to the middle here. Look how he's fighting this. And he could come back with that left hand and spin and go to the basket. He might get a layup and a 3-point play. So he's a work in progress as a low post player. Then when he can step off the lane and face up and shoot a little bank shot off the glass from 7, 8, 10 feet. Now all of a sudden your game starts expanding and you can play away from some of that congestion.
Well, that didn't look pretty. Dwight Howard will take it, and this a real pressure test at the line for Howard, who has now hit 8 of his last 9. And overall 9 for 12. This time did not get the hop. 82-76 Orlando. Game 3 of the Eastern Conference Final. The series even at 1. Game 4 here on Tuesday night on TNT. 8 o'clock Eastern time start. Here's James putting a move on and a blocking foul. It's on Petrus. Stan Van Gundy in disbelief. He felt that it was a charge on James.
Take a look here. It is off arm. Little push there. I tell you, when you play with that kind of contact, remember I talked early in the first half and said how difficult he is to referee because there's so much contact being created. Another problem you got is you start going to the free throw line, and Stan Van Gundy's concerns now, how are we going to play him without putting him to the line? Remember last night, I think Kobe Bryant shot 17 free throws against Denver.
James now 12 of 15 at the line, 1 of 3 in this 4th quarter.
And Kobe had 15 of 17 last night, so you get 41 points. You get to the line 15 times. Here's 2 misses.
And Varejao and Howard have words. Varejao took the ball out of the hands of Howard, and the officials stepped between the two.
Well, Howard's already got 1 technical, so he's going to walk away from that. He'll be thrown out of the game tonight. You've already been in foul trouble throughout. So you got to take the high road here and not fall into that trap of letting Varejao bait you into another bad foul or a technical. LeBron really short-armed that free throw. This Dwight Howard comes up with it. There is the foul afterwards, and then the aftermath of the play, you see Varejao takes the ball away from him, and that's when Dwight Howard just got to walk away from it. The way you punish your guys, go down and make 2 free throws.
So that's 5 on Varejao. That could have easily been a double technical, which would have obviously sent Howard back to the locker room.
That's why you got to really keep your composure, Marv. How often have we seen in games where all of a sudden you get that 2-minute stretch where you you make 2 or 3 silly fouls, or you turn the ball over, or you let your emotion get in the way of being able to execute, it can cost you a game. I mean, this is the Magic that really led the entire game, although Cleveland did at one stretch take the lead, but Magic really have gotten off to a great start and have been in control. Can they finish the deal?
In the previous 2 games, game 1, Orlando came from 16 down to beat the Cavaliers. First loss for the Cavs in the postseason after sweeping through Detroit and Atlanta. And then in game 2, Magic 23 down. Once again, their three-point shooting got them back into the game, and LeBron James pulled it out at the buzzer. So Dwight Howard doing the job at the line. 21 points in all, 11 of 15 at the foul line. It's an 8-point Orlando lead. 4.5 remaining in the fourth. James for 3.
Made one jump shot all night from about 16 feet. So what does he do? Step behind the line and knocks down the 3 to cut the lead back down to 5.
There's Turkoglu finding a wide open Rafer Alston. 3-pointer for Alston. 87-79 Magic. And for Rafer, that's his second 3 of the night. James played tightly by Petrus. James from downtown, way off, but it's handled by Varejao.
Now on this end, it's going to be interesting. Turkoglu, every time he runs that pick and roll, gets Cleveland so strung out because they're paying so much attention to him coming off that screen.
There's Turkoglu. That, his first field goal, nearly the same spot that he hit what appeared to be a game winner in game 2. Here's Williams.
That's a bad shot. When you're struggling, you're 5 of 14 from the floor. You got to get a better shot than that. Under pressure, all these possessions so count. There's that screen roll again. It's going to free up somebody for an open shot.
And it's Lewis. Not able to hit from downtown.
So although Turkoglu has not shot the ball well, anytime you give him the ball, he's going to create something for his teammate.
Foul is on Petrus. That'll put James at the line. Stops the clock with 3 minutes, 3 seconds to play here in the fourth quarter. Now Sasha Pavlovich will check back in for Zydrunas Ilgauskas.
I think this is for defensive purposes right now. Varejao now will play against Dwight Howard. He's a little bit more able to move his feet and get out on those screen and rolls, because that's what you're going to see from Orlando coming down the stretch with Turkoglu, who's going to have the ball in his hands.
James now 13 of 17 at the line. Cavaliers have Williams and West in the backcourt, with Varejao, James, and Pavlovich up front. 89-83 Orlando. Just under 3 minutes to go in the fourth. Marv Albert, Doug Collins, Craig Sager from Amway Arena in Central Florida with downtown Orlando. Alston gets it down low. Howard putting a move on Varejao and a foul. And that is number 6 on Anderson Varejao.
Turkoglu finally finds the range with a jump shot. 1 of 9. 11 points in the ball game. His team lead by 6.
Here for the Magic. 2 minutes, 43 seconds remaining in the fourth quarter. Now Dwight Howard has been hitting his free throws, but can you see Cavalier head coach Mike Brown pulling a Dwight?
Well, you know what? With 2:43, you got 43 seconds, because under the 2-minute mark, you can no longer do that off the ball. But he's shooting 2 free throws here. Marv, if he misses both of these and Cleveland comes down and scores, you could maybe see him take a foul off the ball, Mike Brown, to put Dwight Howard back on the line. So he's 11 of 15 tonight, but these are 2 big free throws, because you're less likely to foul him if he steps up here and knocks these 2 down.
So these are free throws numbers 16 and 17, which would match the most that Dwight Howard has ever taken in a playoff game that he's played only 25 minutes because of the fouls.
Well, Mike Brown had said after game 1, we're going to foul him and use our fouls and not let him dunk the basketball. So he has 5 field goals. He only had 3 in game 2. Remember, he had 14 for 20 in game 1 with only 2 free throw attempts.
Well, he'll take it 1 of 2 at the line and a 90-83 lead for the Magic. They spread it out. James going at Howard and scores. And the foul on Howard. That is number 5.
So you got a real problem. What they're wanting Dwight Howard to do is play back and defend the rim. You can do this against a lot of guys. Can't do this against LeBron James. Remember at the end of game 1 when he drove that ball in the basket, fouled Howard out and got a 3-point play? So when he gets that head of steam up, he's not a normal guy that you can just wait at the rim for. So Stan Van Gundy might have to meet him a little bit further up the lane.
38 points for LeBron, and it's a 4-point game. Here's Howard off the tape. And he'll go back to the line.
Remember now, we showed that graphic earlier of how Dwight Howard had scored 4 points from the field, 3 from the free throw line in the last 4 games from the fourth quarter. Well, they're going to him, and this is where now he has to step up and make those free throws, because if you're going to go in that paint, you've got to be able to get something good coming out of this.
That was 5 on Ilgauskas. Howard 12 of 17 at the line, 6 of 8 here in the quarter, make it 7 of 9. For Dwight Howard, this is excellent free throw shooting.
Oh, anytime. I mean, if you can split 1 of 2, the big question is you can't let LeBron come back and then hit you with a 3-point play. You can't be trading, 2 for 1 or 3 for 1 in all these possessions. You got to eventually get some stops. That's a nice job by Dwight Howard, though, to step up. And Marv, you talk about he's got 24 points tonight in 25 minutes.
92-86, Orlando. James for 3. And it's batted away, carried out of bounds. Last touch by Howard.
But on that screen, if you notice, Dwight Howard got way up and showed early. He did not drop back like he did the play before. Mark, remember the last play he dropped back? Watch this one. He's up this time because he knows he cannot let LeBron drive that ball down his throat.
Well, the foul on Petrus, a blocking foul. That'll put James at the line, stops the clock. 2 minutes, 1 second remaining in the fourth, and 2 free throws coming up. And coming up next, the award-winning Inside the NBA with Ernie Charles, Kenny, and Reggie. Right here in Orlando. The guys have made the trip. Ernie again faking conversation. Inside the NBA, after the Cavaliers and the Magic.
How about this now? Dwight Howard goes to the line, makes them both. LeBron goes to the line and misses them both. What a swing in a motion.
Alston is open for 3. Rebounded by Williams. The key possession for the Cavaliers as we come up on 1.5 minutes to play. Pass intended for Ilgauskas.
They got a turnover by LeBron and then 2 missed free throws. Almost an 8-second count.
Just did get it over. Turgelow playing the shot clock down to 7 as he fires one. He's just leaping for the rebound, and then he is fouled. Michael Petrus soaring, and a technical foul has been called. It's on Delonte West.
After the play, he pushed Michael Petrus. It's just a great hustle play by Petrus. See, he's out there for defense and the energy plays that he brings. Turgelow handles the basketball. It's a tough shot. Look at him go up and get this rebound. There is the foul, and then after the play, there's a little push by Delonte West. Remember I talked about composure? Marv, you can't give points away. There's still a minute 8 to go. It's a 3-possession game or 2-possession game if you count, 3-point shots right now. So you can't make those kind of mental mistakes.
The foul committed by Ilgauskas, so he is fouled out. Joining Varejao on the bench. They both fouled out. West has 5.
74 free throws have been attempted in this game. You're going to have a technical 75 and then 2 others. So it'll be 77 free throws attempted. If you go back to game 1, combined 31, and in game 2 a combined 51. So you can see what's happening as this series is going on. These teams are taking hard fouls around the rim. They're going to make guys make free throws.
Mike Brown taking the full 30 seconds. That's the time allotted to make a substitution to replace Ilgauskas. Coming on with Joe Smith. It's the technical foul. And Rashard Lewis goes back rim. Rashard, an excellent foul shooter, 84% during the regular season. And now Petrus will go to the line. As we touched on earlier, he has had an outstanding playoff run. Big game 7 in Boston. Getting 6 of 7, 3 of 3 from the 3-point line. And a solid series against the Celtics. Shot the ball well in game 1 of this series and has done a superb job tonight. Off the bench, 14 points, 5 for 5 from the line, 5 rebounds. There's Pavlovich for 3 and way off. Last touch by the Cavs.
5 for 23 now from the 3-point line. 39% total field goals. Ray Alston coming back into the game. Getting Michael Petrus, so they want another ball handler on the floor in case they trap and press.
And the Cavaliers remaining in the backcourt to try and do just that. With a minute left. 8-point lead for Orlando. And now they play the clock. And hear it from this crowd. Standing ovation to the Magic. On their way to a 2-1 lead in this best of 7. Turkoglu to the rim. Rebounded by James. Pulls it up. And it's blocked from behind, but a foul on Howard.
He's got to be careful. Remember, he's already got a technical. And even though it might not affect tonight's game, these things start accumulating. Remember, you're the 7th. You are disqualified for a game or suspended for a game. So here's a play from behind. See the play afterwards. This is where, again, you've got to just be able to walk away from it. I know it's an emotional situation, Marv, but he already has one. And it's not so much the ejection here. And even if it's a clean block, which it looks like it was from behind, he got the all ball in that situation. So I understand why he was upset.
Oh, I can see Dwight has a point. And now the officiating crew over to the video replay to want to check where LeBron James was, where his feet were when attempting that shot, whether it was a 3-point attempt, which would mean 3 free throws. Let's see. Yeah, there's no question.
And he clearly got the ball. I mean, that was a block shot from behind. So,
but Dwight Howard has fouled out. That was his 6th. And while we have a moment, let's revisit the keys that you ran down right at the start of the telecast.
Well, they had been trailing both games by 16 in Cleveland. Tonight they came out and led by 7 at the end of the first quarter, shooting almost 60%. Battle of the paint. Howard has been superb, especially when his free throw shooting here in this 4th quarter. Look at Cavs supporting cast, Marv. 13 of 35, 9 turnovers. LeBron could not really make a jump shot tonight, and doesn't look like there's going to be a photo finish if Orlando cannot turn the ball over and make their free throws. See what they've done there free throw-wise in the 4th quarter.
LeBron James has missed 5 free throws this 4th quarter. He is 5 of 10 at the line. in the fourth.
So you got Gortat on the line there as a rebounder. If he rebounds the ball, if LeBron misses this, they got to foul him immediately. Can't let him make the pass. Also out there, you look, Turkoglu's not a great free throw shooter. So Orlando is not safe just yet.
That's 40 points for James on a night where he could not hit a jump shot.
I mean, that's the ability. I mean, this is going to be his 24th free throw. They get in the paint. He did hit the one long three, and I think a 16-footer. So he's got 41 points, and 5 of them are on jump shots.
Well, still 35 seconds to play, and Rashard Lewis is fouled, and he'll go to the line. Torrance Kinsey, 3-year man out of South Carolina, who just checked in for the precise reason to commit a foul.
Well, during the regular season, Rashard Lewis shoots him at about 81%. In the playoffs, he's under 80 at about 79%. The last one he walked up there at the technical and missed. So these are 2 big free throws.
And for LeBron James, his 7th postseason game with 40 or more.
But again, Mark, you look at it, he has 41 of the 89 points. And this is the continuing theme of this playoffs. He's had 43% of the points for Cleveland now in the first 3 games, and especially coming that second half where he's had to carry the load. And so, unless Mo Williams and Delonte West, Ilgauskas, some of these guys start making shots, it puts so much pressure on LeBron to feel like he has to score every time down the floor.
Now to a half minute to go. There's James for 3. Back tap. Williams steps back, looks for the 3. And it's rebounded by Turkoglu. And the foul is given. A successful 3-pointer would have cut it to a 3-point game.
And you still have 19 seconds. I mean, you foul and you keep playing that possession game, trying to trade 3 for 2 or 3 for 1.
Cleveland Cavaliers struggling with the 3-point shot over the 3 games. 18 of 69 from 3-point territory.
You know, the amazing thing about it is this situation with Orlando continues to be here tonight is that they're not shooting well at home. Again, Mark, we thought we're 6 of 17 from 3, which is under 36%, and they're under 43% from the field. So this game tonight defensively goes hand in hand with what they've done. This will be the 5th playoff game they've played at home where they have shot under 45%.
What about James to the rim, blocked from behind by Petrus. What a performance by Michael Petrus at both ends. And he will go to the line.
You know, Gortat had to give him 24 minutes tonight. Petrus 27. And again, if you look, Marv, at the Cleveland bench tonight, only 8 points. 2 field goals for Wallace, 2 for Smith, so 8 points. And for the Magic, they have 18 going to the line. So, you know, Mike Brown has talked about his bench not necessarily having to score but be productive. And they're not getting much production or scoring, especially with West and Mo Williams being the guys that have to score with that second unit out there. And both of those guys tonight combined are 10 of 26, which goes back to how they've been shooting the ball in this series.
Well, game 4 here in Orlando. Tuesday night, game 5 back in Cleveland. On Thursday night, we'll have it for you exclusively on TNT as Williams fires up the 3. Gortat with the rebound. And the Orlando Magic with a 2-1 lead on the Cleveland Cavaliers. And here in Orlando, they're saying, hey, this could have been 3-0, but it is 2-1 with a game 4 back here on Tuesday.
Now, Marv, now what you're Orlando, you're in a position to come in here and say, we're going to get a commanding lead and go up 3-1. And if you're Cleveland, you're saying, come in here and you get the win and you steal the home court. So some team is either going to get the home court back, or Orlando's going to go into a commanding 3-1 lead.
All right, let's go to Craig with Dwight Howard.
Well, that's right. Spectacular game, but very limited minutes. Only 26 minutes, but you had 24 points. Being in foul trouble all night, how surprised are you? Won by 10, and how important is this win?
Well, we just kept fighting. You know, that's what we do. We fight to the end, and we can't worry about nothing. We can't worry about the calls. We can't worry about nobody else. We just got to get out there and play.
So you can't worry about the calls. I don't want to ruin your night, but a letter's on its way from the NBA to warn you and the team that you now have 5 technicals in the playoffs. 7, you get suspended. Every Magic fan wants to know why you had to say something with Joey Crawford watching you so closely, and can you keep your emotions the rest of the way?
Well, I didn't say anything to Joey Crawford. You know, the response was to the other team. I didn't say anything to Joey Crawford. I'm not stupid enough to, you know, get in his face and say anything, so I try to keep it to the other team. But it is what it is. We just got to come out and beat them. We can't worry about nothing else. We got to beat them.
We documented how LeBron was struggling from the perimeter, as was the entire Cleveland team. How much of that should be credited to your team's defense?
Well, you know, here's some tough shots, you know, but we got to be able to stop him from getting to the basket. You know, we still have no answer for it, but we're going to come in here and fight next Tuesday and get the job done.
Thanks a lot. 10-point victory with Dwight Howard leading the way in limited playing time. Back to Mark.
All right, thank you, Craig. And Dwight Howard doing most of his scoring from the free throw line, 14 of 19, and the 19 free throw attempts, a league high in this year's postseason. Orlando also setting franchise playoff records for free throws made and attempted. LeBron James shoots just 11 of 28 from the field and 18 of 24 at the line for 41 points. And the Orlando Magic continue their success over the Cleveland Cavaliers. They now have won 10 of the last 14 games against the Cavs, 6 of the last 7 here in Orlando. Thanks to our producer, Scooter Vertino, director Renato Lowe, our statistician, Brian Taylor. Again, the final score, the Magic 99 and the Cavaliers 89. It's a 2-1 lead in this Eastern Conference final for Orlando. Coming up, following a quick break, it'll be back to Orlando for Inside the NBA with Ernie Charles, Kenny, and Reggie. For Craig Sager and Doug Collins, I'm Marv Albert saying good night from Orlando.